All right, today is the day I'm going to start playing with the loom. I've watched some videos, done some reading. I have a habit of collecting books for things that I don't even do yet. So I do have a really good book on weaving that I've been reading up on. And I think I'm ready to at least play around a little bit and see what I can see. So the first thing is going to be to take this project off the loom. Don't know if I can salvage it or not. It's been on there for a long time, but I'm going to pull it off and we'll see how it looks. And that way I will be ready to warp the loom. Yes, I did find out it's called the reed, not the heddle, but on my rigid heddle, you know, it's the reed is part of the heddle. So that's where I get that from. And these are heddles. And each one of these lifts the string. And yeah, I'm getting a rough idea of how it works now. So I feel confident enough to take the material off and go from there. So I'll just put it on time lapse because I'm not going to talk while I'm doing it. I'm going to be listening to some classic Art Bell radio because I like that stuff. Okay, here we go. All right, so I went upstairs and I got my book. This is the book I bought years ago on sale. So she walks you through literally step by step. So our first project, we need 2 colors. So I picked some mercanized cotton cones I have in blue and yellow so that the contrast will show pretty good. And we're going to work with a 2-yard warp. So I have measured out my 2-yard, what do they call it? A guide thread. So I measured it out. I've got it on my warping board, so I have my template to follow. Oh, I'm just trying to get this string off of here. There you go. I'm just using strings that I cut off the loom as my scrap yarns. So I am going to, let me just find my page again. I'm going to need to use things like lease sticks, and the spiky thing I didn't know what it was is called a rattle. So I'm going to measure out my warp accordingly. And tie that all up, and I will get back to you when I have that part done. I'll do a time lapse so you can see me wrapping that. We're going to use a 12 dent reed, so each end will need 12 threads, or each inch will need 12 threads. So we're going to do 12 threads of blue, then 12 threads of yellow, then 12 threads of blue, then 12 threads of yellow. And in the end, we should have 120 threads total. Here we go. All right, so I've got my warp measured and off on my warping board with the ties. And I don't know, it looks like it might tangle, but she says it'll be fine, so we're going to believe it. Wrap it once around the front beam with the cross end hanging off the front. All right. I don't think I tied it tight enough. Oh well. We're going to do as we're told. Wrap it around. All right. I put it on backwards. My counting thread should be going towards the back. All right. So this way then. All right. Okay, so we are supposed to have, can you see me over here? You can. So we are supposed to have a stick on here that should come up and over our back beam. we do not have said stick, here is said stick. All right. So we're going to thread it through our deuter thingy here. What's it called? Texacal, Texacon, Texa something. Oh yeah, it'll be easy. It's designed to work this way. Yeah, sure it is. There we go. We got one through. Oh my gosh, I feel awkward. This is friggin' awesome. You can't say I don't show you real life, folks. Get on there. Okay, there we go. We got it attached. All right, so we are to take, but we are going to attach it to the apron rod. So we will need a second rod. I have the rattle right here. I'm just set it on top of my pedals for now. All right. I'm gonna reach through and grab this. All right, I need to secure it better at the front beam. Hold on. Oh my goodness, the things you learn as you go. But since I learn by doing, this is the best way for me to figure it out. All right. So we'll put this through there, and we'll need to attach it to the other bar. I should have grabbed some elastics. I don't think I own any elastics, so we're just going to tie it. Easier said than done. Okay, make a slip knot. Attach it to this. And then just wrap it around a couple of times. Ah, they're so slick, these rods. Oh, you've got to be shitting me. Probably can't even see what I'm doing at the moment. But trust me, this is not a tutorial. This is let's watch Tammy try to figure crap out. Oh, come on. All right, it's tied on. Now, we need to untangle it from our rattle. We stand up the rattle. Now we need to spread this out. So we're going to have 6 threads per inch. Oh my God. Wow. All right. I'm going to need to think about this for a little bit and futz around until I figure it out. So you don't need to hear me cursing. I'll be back. All right, there was a great deal of cursing. I mean, a lot of cursing. I may have even made up some new words. I do stuff like that. But I have the warp onto the back beam. Now I have to thread it through my heddles and then tie it to the front beam. So I'm going to attempt to do that. I believe I'm going to turn my loom back now that I'm done mucking about behind. Yes, I'm going to turn it so then you can get a better view, and I will put it on time lapse and you can laugh at me trying to do this. Well, I forgot to film slaying my reed because, I was just too busy focusing on what I was doing. Regardless, I have it all warped up and I started weaving. And guys, I am so in love. It was so worth it. All that trouble. Um, I learned a lot and I have a better idea of what I'm doing. So next time should be much quicker. But for the moment, I thought I'd show you a bit of weaving. Don't mind me, I'm still in my PJs. I just woke up this morning and I'm editing videos and then I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta finish that weaving video. So I just kind of turned my chair while the video is rendering. So I didn't bother getting dressed, long story short. Probably my hair's a mess too. Yeah, looks great, eh? This is the real me. This is my real life. There is nothing pretend here. But I'm going to do some weaving, so I'll put you on time lapse and you can watch because this is freaking amazing. Amazing! I'm so in love. You know what? I probably won't even put it on time lapse. That's how fast this goes. So we'll just adjust you a little bit here. Actually, I'll leave you back a bit so you can see the pedals working here. Let's push up the sleeves. We're ready to work. All right. So I've done 10 rows of the yellow. I'm about to switch to the blue. I only have one boat shuttle, so I've just been swapping out the bobbins. I'll probably have to get a new boat shuttle. All right, so where did I leave off? I left off at 2 and 3, so we want to bring up 3. And then we will whoosh through. Now, because I'm bringing that up along the side, okay. Beat 3, 4. Oh, beat. I'm still trying to get my rhythm. 4, 1. 1, 2. 2, 3. 3, 4. Whoops. I'm just doing a twill pattern. Just because it's something other than plain weave. 4, 1. 1, 2. 2, 3. Are you seeing how fast this goes? Like, this is crazy. 3, 4. And if I'd warped the whole length of the loom, or the width of the loom, I could make fabric in no time. I see why people love their looms. I really do. It's crazy fun. Now, granted, I am not doing a fancy pattern, but it's still fun. Now, I also know that my selvage is going to be a mess because I'm not making sure that I pick up my outer threads. You can see where it's missing. But I am not aiming for perfection right now. I'm just aiming for working with my loom. This way. Because, I put in a lot of effort to get it to this point. I want to play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So now I need to switch my colors. So I'll just pop that bobbin off, set it over there for now, bring back my yellow one. And because I messed up going under the thread, I'm going to go over, sit there, so I figure out where I am. All right, so I beat that in. So I'm gonna actually catch my selvage this time. I'm gonna be, you know, a little more professional. You're right. Nothing professional about what I'm doing right now. But the point being, I am doing, and I'm telling you, this is freaking amazing. Oops. Now, after working on a rigid heddle loom, which, don't get me wrong, I love my rigid heddle loom for certain projects, but for anything that requires a pattern, wow, this baby's gonna be amazing. Look at just zing, 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 zing. It's like freaking magic. So I'm going to need to line some of that on, give myself a little more space to work. So when I stop, I leave my petals in the last position I used, so I know where to start from. I don't think it matters whether you go to your next position or leave it in the position you just used, so long as you do the same thing consistently. At least that's how it works in my head. Since I'm the one doing the weaving, I guess that's the important part. All right, let's loosen up her back beam a bit. That's probably enough. And then we'll pull it in. Oh no, we need more than that. Oof, I have a real tension problem on this side. I'm not sure what loosed. Ha, now I know. My little rod got twisted. There we go. Now we're better. Oh, where's my cardboard? There it is. Ah, yes, yes, yes. I'm a-learning. And I think I learn more from my mistakes than I do from my successes. Just the way I'm built, I think. So there we go. I'm weaving, guys. Is it good? No. It's so not good. It's very, very amateur and messed up, and I am still absolutely thrilled. So I'm going to, I only have 2 yards of warp on here, so I'll probably just continue weaving it. And when I have it off the loom, I'll show you how bad it is, and we can have a laugh together. But overall, I'm very pleased. This is so fun. And now I see why once the warping is a necessary part of the process, I will get better at it. I will get more patient with it, and I will wrap my warp better, first of all. And I think it's going to be just so lovely. I can't wait until I'm experienced enough to make some fancy patterns. Because I do have, hold on. Remember how I mentioned I buy books? Well, I have some Rigid Heddle books with patterns in them, but I have actually 2 of them. But I've also been buying weaving magazines, and these have patterns in them. They show you how to do them once you learn how to read the pattern, because like this is still Greek to me, but that's a weaving pattern. I have to learn how to read that, so I may have to take a class to learn how to do this stuff, which would be fine. I've had a couple of recommendations for some people to try, and I'll figure it out. I like this scarf. Look at how pretty that is. I can make stuff like that now. Well, I mean, not right now. I need to get a little better first, but I will be able to make stuff like that. So that's how Rowena and I are getting along. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see what happens in the future, and if I actually do figure out how to do patterns, and if it'll actually turn out good, or if it'll just end up being crap and then I get mad and I sell the loom and I never weave again, subscribe. It could be an interesting adventure. Thanks, guys. Bye. So I don't know how this happened, but I'm assuming it was in my first very crappy warp. But you can see how my warps got all knotted up. So while I still had quite a bit of warp on my loom, I did have to cut my project off, which is right here. But as you can see, I was starting to get a handle on it. This was the last bit I wove before I had to cut off the warp. And you can see here what was happening is it was getting all twisted and bent because the warp couldn't come forward. But this section here came out absolutely stunning. Well, except for that little spot there. Regardless, I am super pleased with how it turned out. So I'm going to wash this up and we'll see how it sets that way.